Hello and welcome to Walking Movies. I'm Nick, and it's that day. It's finally here. It's a cinema goes Christmas. It's Barbenheimer Day. I didn't have the fedora or couldn't be bothered to wear a suit in this weather, so I've gone kind of dressed as Ken. And this is momentous day. Two of the biggest, most anticipated films of the year come out today, and I'll be reviewing both of them. So I'm on my way to the cinema now, and that's to see Oppenheimer, because it's 3 hours long, right? 3 hours and 1 minute. That's officially what it says. Christopher Nolan films. I have been very kind of honest about how I feel about Christopher Nolan as a director. I think his career started off great up until around Batman Begins, and then very mixed. You know, I've never seen Inception and being wowed by it, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, it's a great looking film. Is it a great film? No. And then, you know, people love The Dark Knight. Another fact today, well, not today, but The Dark Knight came out the same day as Mamma Mia. There's another epic battle, two different audiences. May have been around this date, actually. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I've seen all of his stuff. And Dunkirk was the last one that I kind of enjoyed in bits, but overall I did think it was great. And then last film we had was Tenet, which you know, after he was disgusted with Warner and how they wanted to release the film during the pandemic, a lot of rows between the two, they parted, and that led to Oppenheimer being his first film made outside of Warner's since the start of his career, really. So here we are. Now, you must have seen some trailers or at least some adverts. You know what Oppenheimer is about. It's about the titular character and the creation of an implementation of the atomic bomb. Now, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I don't remember at school learning about what happened in Hiroshima. It kind of got glazed over, so I don't really know too much about it. And I thought leading up to the film, well, should I? And I was like, well, no, I want to hear I want to see the story being told, and then I'll do the history lesson afterwards. So that's what I'm going to do. Cillian Murphy obviously plays Oppenheimer. You also got Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, and lots of other people that I've forgotten about already because I haven't seen the film, that's why. So anticipation's high. Early reviews, early buzz has been very positive for this film, which makes me excited to go and see it. So, you know, it's the only thing that I don't like. It's a long film, so it's 3 hours and 1, and what I've done is I've timed it so when I leave Oppenheimer I've got about 45 minutes or so until Barbie starts, which will hopefully give me enough time to digest what I've just witnessed and see something new. So that's the plan. So that's it. I will speak to you after I come back, after I've seen Oppenheimer, and I'll let you know my thoughts. Oh, I did my nails as well. The weather's turned. The weather turned before I got into the cinema. And I wonder if that's because of preparing me for what was coming next. It's been about 10 or 15 minutes now since the film ended. 20, actually. And I'm just about recovered. Recovered enough to tell you about the film. there's that kind of famous comment, isn't there, about a picture paints 1,000 words. That could be applied to Cillian Murphy's face. It's a remarkable acting performance of someone who, to be fair, is, regarded as being, a fantastic actor. But even so, this does kind of take it to another level, I think. The film isn't perfect. But when that might be down to personal preference, but when it hits, it really hits. It's left me feeling unlike any film has in years. I can't remember the last time a film kind of left me feeling the way that I did walking out of it, and even now, so 20 minutes on, and I think it is going to kind of linger with me for quite a while. You definitely should see it, and see on the biggest screen you can. I almost saw it in IMAX. Now it was going to be a digital presentation in IMAX, because that's what we've got. Obviously, much has been made about the 70mm 11-mile long print that certain IMAXs will be showing around the world. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I think it may have been too much to see it in IMAX. I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, I know what I'm doing, but I also don't know what I'm doing. Just walking around aimlessly. I'm going to go over here now. So I'll tell you what, my problems with the film really come down to the way that it's set out. And what I mean is, I guess, kind of similar to Dunkirk. It kind of flips around. It kind of goes from the past to the present, and then kind of in between. And some of it's in black and white, some of it's in colour. Now, if they'd have stuck to, I guess they kind of stuck to black and white as being set in the kind of present time of the film, but it does split around quite a lot, and I wish they'd kind of use that a little bit more to kind of differentiate things. But yeah, so that device I didn't like in the way it kind of flitted around. I wish it was kind of a bit more structured, or yeah, I wish it was kind of a bit more structured in that way. That said, I mean, everything else is pretty much flawless, and I can almost guarantee now the Oscar nominations coming in for Robert Downey Jr., for Cillian Murphy, for Emily Blunt especially. I mean, there's not really a bad performance in there, but those are the kind of powerhouse performances, and they are something special. And it's a devastating story, like, when you think about it. And I am going to go and do a little bit of a spoiler bit at the end of this to discuss some of that, but it's probably not what you think. Should you go and see this film? Absolutely. See it on the biggest screen possible as soon as you can. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a film that has left me wanting to know more about the whole situation, but it's just fantastically performed, and I only wish that it was kind of just set out a little bit differently to how it was. It's a long film, obviously, 3 hours and 1 minute. There are definitely moments when you think, did this need to be in here? Is it a bit too slow? And yes, there are definitely times when I think that is an issue. But when it kicks off, it really kicks off. So yeah, it's definitely going to be up there, I think, with the best films I've seen this year, and it's going to probably leave an impact for quite a while. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this film for a long time, I think, and that's testament to the film, right? So there you go. So I will leave this review here. As I said, I will add a spoiler bit just after this. So if you want to hear some spoilers, there'll be very minor spoilers, but if you do, then stick around. And if not, if you leave here, then thank you very much for listening. And as always, Flynn lives. Okay, so if you're back here, or you're still here, it's because you want to hear spoilers. So the thing that surprised me the most about this film is what you see, what you don't see. So what you do see is the testing of the atomic bomb that was set up. What you don't see is the bomb being used in Japan to kind of really end that part of the war. What I didn't realise was when it happened, Hitler had already died, and Germany had effectively, or about to at least, give up. It was Japan that was still continuing to fight the war and hadn't surrendered yet, or hadn't shown any signs of stepping down. And this seemed to give the American government the decision to drop these atomic bombs on Japan. And you know, the estimate was about 100,000 people died in those initial droppings of the bomb, but because of the after effects, it was more than double that. It was about 220,000 within a few years, and it's just incredible. But I think what was so good about what Christopher Nolan's done with this film is not showing you that kind of gory element. Just hearing what was going on was almost horror enough. And what you do see is so superbly done that you're kind of like grateful that they don't do that they don't show you more, that it's not this, you know, glorified horror of the impact that it had. And I think that's really brave. I think that was a really good creative decision that he did, to not, you know, focus on that as a lot of films that go on about world events often do. You know, they show you the devastation and the aftermath, and you don't see it in this, but you still feel completely horrified, you know, just by thinking about it. A really brave and I think creative choice. But yes, there was so another thing that I didn't really feel needed to be in a film was his first kind of relationship with Jean. I don't think it really served much purpose, but it did add a lot of kind of like time into the film. Florence Pugh is obviously as wonderful as she is often, but when you've got a 3-hour film, was that significant enough to really play into the major story? I don't think it did. It wasn't like his relationship with her changed his, you know, caused him to create the bomb or something like that. So yeah, there were, you know, things like that. I kind of like, you know, they were good, but did they really need to be there? I don't know. But yeah, I think the thing that I take away from it is the fact of causing me to feel, and hopefully audiences to feel the way that they do about the atomic bomb without showing the devastation. The actual sequence of the testing of the bomb and the bomb going off is some of the most amazing cinema I've seen in quite some time, because of the way the sound is used and the way that it's been shot or created. You know, I don't know how they obviously create the explosion, but it looks, you know, devastating. And considering that one of my biggest complaints about Christopher Nolan films is the use of sound, in this it's used with incredible effect. And I would also say about 90% of the dialogue you can actually hear as well throughout the film, so there's that as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of highlight that and mention that, because I didn't know that going in. I just assumed that we would see the bombs being dropped on Japan, and you don't. And I think that's a great decision, a brave decision for a film, and obviously what he wanted to focus on, which was Oppenheimer himself, not necessarily the bomb. It's a fascinating story. I can't wait to kind of dive into it a bit more and find out more about the kind of the truth and reality of what happened, because we all know with these films, you know, there'll be a lot of truth, but also how much it marries up to real life. I think with this, you know, I think a lot of it will, but I'd like to see more and read more about it. So there you go. All right, slightly longer review than normal, but because of the spoiler bit. But yeah, go and see Oppenheimer. Definitely going to be up there at the end of the year as one of this year's best films, with some amazing performances. And yeah, one of the most stunningly looking films as well of this year. Whew. I want to see it again, and I don't want to see it again. I mean, I will definitely see it again, but do you know what I mean? Like, I'm almost in no rush because of how it's left me, but I'll definitely catch it on streaming. And hey, someone wants to go and see it in IMAX, you might convince me. Wow, what a film. Barbie's got a lot to live up to, but more about Barbie in a bit. Until next time, Flynn Lifts. Can't believe it. Not only is the sun not out, but I'm now late. I dithered too much at the supermarket, getting confused on what to buy. And now I'm running late. I'm still going to get in time for the film, but even so. Hello, welcome back to Walking Movies. I'm Nick, and as you can see, I'm on my way to see Barbie. Oh, I've been waiting for this film so long. For a film that absolutely I'm not the target audience for. But as soon as I saw the first trailer, I was like, wow, this is not what I was expecting. And I'm very excited. You know, wearing sunglasses when there's no sun. There was earlier. That's what happened. But even so. Now, when I left the cinema after seeing Oppenheimer, what I saw was a load of girls, mainly younger girls, but also some teenage and young adult girls, mainly in pink. Pink is obviously the thing to wear. So I've had to go as Ken, because I do have one pink polo shirt, but it would clash with these sunglasses, so couldn't do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Michael Cera, American Ferrera, Will Ferrell, Samu Liu, I think, is in this as well. It's, yeah, I'm just hyped. I'm still trying to come down from Oppenheimer. I've cheered up a little bit now. I'm laughing a little bit, but yeah, is this film going to live up to the hype? That's the question. We're going to find out soon once I get back to the cinema. I'm not that far away, but I will miss pretty much all the trailers, which is a shame because I wanted to see the Marvels trailer on the big screen. But what can you do? Just how life goes sometimes. So, Barbie, here we go. What do I think coming up after this little transition? We are literally queuing down the road to get into the cinema. See those cars behind me? That's free flowing normally. I've never seen the cinema as busy as it is tonight. Like, just queues everywhere. Barbie's going to be insanely popular. I can say that much. Right, so let's talk about it, eh? Is it good? Yes. Is it going to do well? Yes. But, massive caveat, I think this film is going to have a massive opening weekend, and then I think it's going to slide. And that's because this is absolutely not a kids' film. I saw it at 5, so there was quite a few kids in the cinema. But this really isn't a film for kids. And I will say it's probably the bravest film of the summer. I was saying earlier about how Chris Nolan made some brave choices. Yeah, nothing on Warner's for allowing that film to go out. And, you know, there's things that kids will enjoy, but it's a really great film. I just don't think it's a film for kids. I don't think they're going to enjoy it as much as they think they will as well. It's going to be really interesting, because originally I was going to try and see this with my wife and daughter, but you couldn't see it today, so they're going to see it on Sunday with mother-in-law, grandma, mum, whatever. So 3 of them are going to go and see it on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to hear what they think of the film. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty much Men Are Rubbish the movie, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I think it's good that we've got a film that talks about the world and how it's run badly and has been for years. But that's a very short way of looking at it. You know, Margot Robbie obviously is excellent. I think Ryan Gosling, he's always good when he does comedy roles. He just doesn't do enough of them. But I mean, he's great as Ken. But all the Barbies and all the Kens are good. American Ferrara is in it a lot more than I expected, and she's great. Everyone was entertaining. It was good. I'm just not convinced that this is the film that people are going to take their kids to more than once. Because it's not really for them. It's made more for adults. And I love that. I really like that that's what they've done with that property. It's just clever to do it, and brave, very brave. But how does it rate in comparison? Well, I want to let's do that again. But how does it compare to Oppenheimer in this double bill? Was it a good double bill? Yes, it was a great double bill. The films really complemented each other really well. But I think I have to give the edge to Oppenheimer as the better film. And I think one of the main reasons why is because, I mean, Barbie's obviously a much shorter film. And the problem with that, when you put out trailers that show so much of the film off, is that, you know, a good, at least the first third of the film, you've pretty much seen everything in the trailers already. I mean, obviously things are fleshed out, there's more lines, but you've kind of seen those jokes, you've kind of seen those scenarios. So it takes a while to get past that, which is a shame. And that's the problem with trailers, right? Modern trailers. But once it kind of gets past that, it is very enjoyable, very funny. Some jokes that are gonna, well, you hope are gonna go over kids' heads because they're quite racy. But it's a really well-made film. Like, Greta Gerwig's done a great job. I hope it is very successful. But as I said, I don't. The problem I've got with it is, I think it's being marketed, obviously because of the Barbie brand, but as being a kids' film, and it's not. It's really not. So what am I going to score it? It's an 8.5. It's an 8.5. As I said, I just think it's got some really good morals in the film. and really good talking points in the film as well. But I think of the two, I think Oppenheimer is the winner today. But what a double bill. What an absolute treat for the cinema fans. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. But yeah, go and see it. But if you're thinking of taking young kids, just kind of bear that in mind. This is really not a little kids film. If you do that, you're going to have a great time. You really will. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. So that's it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed my reviews. And I don't think I'm seeing anything else from Turtles Mayhem in about a week, 10 days. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe there's something I've not seen come out that I want to see. But that'll probably be the next one. So thank you for watching, and as always, clean lifts.